Hi, welcome back. I'm so excited to be finally doing a second installment for my kitchen magic portion of this channel. It's something that I have been wanting to do mostly with other people, which is why I delayed for a little while, but finally I decided to just get going with it because I'm really anxious to start doing more with it. So I'm just going to start with my own around lemons. That's what we're featuring today, and I'm ecstatic about it. I absolutely adore lemons. So do millions of people. They have a very, very long tradition of culinary use as well as magical uses all over the world. They're created by humans. Lemons are specifically. They're from the citron variety of tree. And it's thought that they were created through a graft somewhere in Asia, maybe around the 1st century of the Common Era. They didn't really make it into common use for like common folk until I read much later, like around the 15th century. But they were in parts of Europe, closer to like the earliest part of the Common Era, just for the wealthy, like kings and stuff, through trade. But like corn, they are a medicinal plant that was reliant upon humans to come into being. So it's a super interesting history around magical use of lemons. And same with corn. I'll probably do another one on corn here at some point in the future. But so one of the ways I just wanted to start out talking about lemons. Oh yeah, and let me introduce, this is my little lemon that I sprouted from seed. It's a lemon just from the store, an organic lemon. It may never produce a fruit because most commercial lemons that you purchase in grocery stores are grown via grafting, which means that they may never produce a fruit, or if they do produce a fruit, it won't probably look like what we buy in the store. It might be like a smaller lime or limon type fruit, and it may not even be edible. So that's all a lot about plant propagation that I don't know. I recommend looking into it, though. It's really interesting. Where I live, we can't have lemons growing outside. It's too cold in the winter. So what a lot of people do that want to have a lemon tree in their home is they'll bonsai a lemon tree, which requires maintenance, but then you have the beautiful fertility and fortune of having a lemon tree in your home. They just have incredible energetics to them. I'm very proud of this one and grateful to my friend Mike, who helped me keep it alive. I sprouted this during the pandemic, and at some point during the pandemic, my home got really severely invaded by ants. I lived right by an ant colony outside, and I don't know if it was, I don't really honestly know. Well, I do know. That's in another video. I'm not going to get into that here. But they really swarmed my ant seedlings, my lemon seedlings that I had growing. This is the lone survivor. But luckily, when you're growing stuff from seed, you know to grow a lot, so that, because not all of them are always going to make it right. So this one made it because of my friend Mike's diligence. It was a gift to him, and he has taken very good care of it, and it's the only one that survived. So I'm really happy to feature this lemon here, and I can't wait till the first season that it flowers, because the flowers are very fragrant. So anyways, back to my kind of early memories with lemons. So a lot of what I like to do around medicinal plants is tell the story about what my relationship is with the plant. And my earliest memories around lemons, there's a couple different ones. One is with my dad when he would go out, take us out to lunch on the weekends. He used to order fish and chips quite a bit, which comes with lemon on the side. And when I was really little, like maybe around 3, 4, and 5, he would convince me to suck on the lemon that came with his fish and chips. And the first time I did it, of course, you get that startled, there's probably videos everywhere of babies trying a lemon for the first time. Well, and he thought it was hilarious. It's a tame version of the way he used to trick my brother with food, which wasn't always so nice. He would trick him by giving him like a hot pepper and stuff, which is a little bit mean. Anyways, though, so he used to trick me over and over with this lemon, and the next time he would try again, and I would say, no, I'm not going to do it. I don't believe you. It's sour. And he would convince me. He would say, nope, these are different. These are a special kind that are really sweet. And he would trick me again, and then I would laugh. It took me about 3 or 4 times probably. And so that's a really nice memory with my dad. And then another one is the song Lemon Tree. Trini Lopez made it famous in the United States. It's based on a Brazilian song in Portuguese that was written in the 30s. Peter, Paul, and Mary also did a version, but I really wanted to learn piano as a kid, but we didn't have a piano. And my friend down the road from me where I grew up was taking piano lessons, and so I would often go over to her house on the weekends and she would teach me what she was learning. And Lemon Tree was the first song I ever learned how to play. And the lyrics, if you're not familiar with the song, are really about the interesting properties of the lemon tree, which is that the fruit is very sour and bitter, but the flowers are very fragrant and desirable smelling and intoxicating, right? And so the lyrics of Lemon Tree are like a warning about love. Don't fall in love because it's like the lemon tree. The flowers are very beautiful and sweet, but the fruit you should never eat. Kind of warning you about the heartbreak that can come with love, right? So that's one of the songs. Those are my 2 earliest memories, the Lemon Tree song and then my dad's little trick that he would play. And then later on in life, in high school, the Lemon song, which was ripped off by Led Zeppelin. That was my first exposure to the song. And then I learned that it's a Robert Johnson song called Traveling Riverside Blues, which is a very sexual song. And those lyrics in that song stand out to a lot of people. It's legendary, right? And he made the lemon famous in that song by describing it as a sexual creature, right? Like, squeeze my lemon until the juice runs down my leg. And lemons are also a really powerful symbol of fertility. So I like that those 2 themes come out in these songs, whether they were intentional or not by the song's writers. They're very in keeping with the plant spirit of lemon trees and their uses. They have extensive medicinal uses that we'll get into, and as well as magical uses, both for white magic and black magic. Lemons are used in both practices. They're extremely powerful plants to incorporate into your hedge witchery practices. They're very cleansing, and everybody knows that when you think of like Lemon Pledge or brands of cleaning supplies that have lemon scent. Lemons are known for their cleansing property, and that doesn't just mean in the physical world. It means cleansing our energy also. So I wanted to just kind of give that as a little bit of an introduction for why I chose lemons. I use them a lot in my own hedge witch practice for multiple things. Plus, I just love lemons. I eat them. I drink lemon water all the time. I'm really crazy about it. I use lemon zest in cooking all the time. I'm just almost obsessed with lemons. So the 3 things that I'll be highlighting in terms of making food with lemons in these videos, it's probably not going to be all one video. It's probably going to be 2 or possibly 3. The first dish is going to be a lemon cream pie, which is a very simple, delicious, light dessert that's very easy to make. I'm going to use fresh lemon juice, but you can also use lemon juice from the bottle. But fresh, you can't compare it, right? I'm also going to be making preserved lemons, which is a Mediterranean method of consuming lemons that I've actually never tried, and I'm very excited about it. And I think energetically, preserved lemons are going to have extremely powerful properties for protecting your home as well, because they incorporate 2 major elements in protection spells, which are salt and lemon. So, and other herbs that you can incorporate to give it additional flavor. And the third dish, it's not really a dish that I'm going to be making, but to use the peels and to try to use the whole fruit of all these lemons I bought, is I'm going to make a limoncello, which is an Italian vodka infused with lemon, basically. The first time I learned the term limoncello was in Mexico, and I don't know if it was a common use of the phrase, but the first time I got a really bad cold when I was living there, La Señora de la Casa where I lived, and her daughters would insist that I drink pure lemon juice loaded down with a lot of granulated sugar. I think the more traditional method is honey and lemon, as we all know, kind of in tea. but they gave me like a really saturated, sugary, fresh lemon juice and insisted that I drink it. And they called it limoncello. And that was before I knew anything about the vodka infusion. That was for my cold remedy, right? But I'm going to make and get like a pint of really good quality 100 proof vodka and make a limoncello with the peels. So I'm so excited to share this with you, and thank you for being here, for liking, subscribing, and commenting. And also for future food magic or other esoteric topics. If you're interested in collaborating with me on making a video, please reach out, because I love kitchen magic and hedge witchery and cards. So I want to collaborate with people on these kinds of projects. So thank you. And now we're going to get started. My first step here is for the lemon cream pie. The last couple times I've made lemon cream pie, I make it with a graham cracker crust, but this time I wanted to try a pastry crust. So the first step is that we're going to bake this pastry crust to get it baked and golden brown before we make the ingredients for the lemon cream. So I'm going to get this crust ready, and then I'll be back to show the portion of making the lemon cream filling. Thank you. Okay, so now that the crust has been kind of prepared, the next step is to mix the ingredients for the filling, and we're going to start with a can of condensed milk. I'm trying to use organic ingredients just because they're better and it's superior, and I didn't fill my whole kitchen with only organic. I'm just doing this one project. So sweetened condensed milk, you don't want to use evaporated milk. You want to add 1 can of that, which I'm doing right now. And then you want to add a couple spoonfuls of fresh grated lemon peel to this, which was already in the bowl. I already did that off camera, grated the lemon peel. And now getting this sweetened condensed milk in here. For juicing lemons, I just have this manual handheld juicer here next to the bowl. I used to have like a nicer like Jack LaLanne or Ninja type juicer, but I just don't have the room. I'm in a very tiny kitchen. This is the extent of my kitchen. So I've had to really get creative. For example, I only have this air fryer. I don't have a regular oven. So now one of the things though, just this a little bit of an aside or an herbalism tip, because for me personally, I don't make tinctures so much anymore. I now more make tea and flower essences, flower and plant essences. And when you're making essences out in nature, you want to try to make the plant essence right near where you've gotten the plant. You also want to use a clear glass bowl that you don't use for anything but making essences, or that have contained only plant material, nothing else. And so because I'm so limited on space, this is my 2 birds with 1 stone kind of solution, is to use this juicer, because the only thing that ever goes in this juicer is plant-based juices and flower essences when I'm making flower essences outside. So as you're trying to put together like a magical practice over the years, you are trying to acquire your tools, and herbalism practice is the same. You're trying to put together an apothecary, figure out what you want to store in your home. I like homesteading, and I like plant medicine, and I like all that stuff. So I have a lot here in this tiny little space, but this is just one kind of way you can have your flower essence bowl combined with this, so that you never risk getting it mixed up with other bowls or whatever. This is only for plants. So now this is going to, oh man, I meant to mix this in here. Well, that's okay. We're just going to have to adjust. Next is a 1/2 cup of this freshly squeezed lemon juice. Let me do this last lemon here in case you've never seen one of these bad boys work. They're really simple to use, but you know, if you're trying to make a whole brunch, these are not ideal. You want something with more power to make juice than something like this if you're making mimosas or using fresh juice for a brunch with a lot of people over. But for my needs, it's been great. 1/2 cup of this fresh squeezed lemon juice. Meyer lemons are great. You can also just use whatever. Any fresh lemon is great. Meyer lemons are great because they're a tiny bit sweeter. And they'll taste a little bit more closer to an orange than other lemons, but they're still lemony. You know. Hey, I almost got it right on half a cup. So this just is going to be mixed and then set aside. We'll see how the hand mixer does in this big bowl. That's why I meant to do it in the other the thing made for this hand mixer, but I forgot, so we'll just see. Oh, it's not working. It's going okay. So you want to mix this really well. And then what we're going to do is set it aside and do our whipping cream. So I'm just going to finish mixing this here. I also, because I ended up only having this one, I also noticed the lemon tree needed to be cleaned off a little bit. Its leaves were all dirty. I started, or I decided this year to do some more lemon seedling sprouts this season to see if I can't get some more trees to give away, because my original goal during the pandemic was to give them as gifts to my loved ones, and this is the only one that made it, and now it's here where I live. It doesn't live in my home, although I am tempted to take it back almost. But my friend Mike is really to be credited for keeping this one alive when my other ones were being invaded by ants. Ants like plants that have volatile oils in them, so they'll get really attracted to a rosemary bush, for example, or they get attracted to these because lemons have volatile oil. So anyways, getting this all mixed up here. Sweetened condensed milk, a half a cup of lemon juice, fresh squeezed, and a couple spoonfuls of grated lemon peel. They always say be careful about the pith because the pith is kind of bitter, but I'm not super obsessed about stuff like that. And here's all my seeds from my organic lemon. I'm going to set those aside and get them ready in a while to sprout. Organic ones have the better chance of surviving. They're just a little bit healthier of a seed. All right, so now we need to do whipped cream, if you're somebody who doesn't cook much and you've never made whipped cream, you can buy heavy whipping cream at the store, which is what I did. I don't typically get like Cool Whip or whipped cream in a can. When I'm having whipped cream, I like to make it. I don't know why, I just do. It just feels more real or something, I guess. But a little tip is to try to chill your bowl and your milk so that it helps your cream stiffen a lot quicker when you're whipping it into whipped cream. So this bowl might end up being too small, but I wanted to chill a metal bowl because it'll help the cream stiffen quicker, like I just said. It's going to stiffen and expand right out of this bowl, though. I think I'm going to have to fold it in, because the step after whipping this is to then fold this whipped cream into this, and then that's it. That's how easy this is. This is a very simple dish, and it's really yummy and delicious. It's really great for summer. But I wanted to honor it with lemons just because I'm so obsessed with them right now. And then a nice thing you can do too with this, because I have all these lemons to do other projects as well, but when you go to serve this, you can really thinly slice some lemons and place them on top and make it really pretty. And show off your lemons, right? So now here's, oops, I better clean this off just because I don't want to screw up the cream. So you just want to do, if you've never made whipped cream before, you just need to stay with it and whip it until it's stiff, like whipped cream that you're used to from a can, right? So it can take a little bit depending. Chilling is your little trick to get it to happen a lot quicker. That's why I chilled it. That's why I use this metal bowl. Let me rinse this real quick and then we'll get the whipped cream going. I love this hand mixer, and it's nice because it doesn't take up that much room. Doesn't take up that much room in a small kitchen. So as you can see, this is just gonna start whipping like this, and I'm just gonna whip it until it's stiff and expanded, enlarged, or airy, right? I'm not really that great of a chef. I'm okay, but especially pastry chef or dessert chef, I am not. And so what would be really exciting to make would be like a lemon meringue, but I am not a good enough chef to make a meringue, I don't think, especially trying to do one in an air fryer. So I'll be back now with spooning this into the pie just so I can do this. It's not very interesting for you to sit and watch me whip the cream. Okay, well, because I'm such a badass and thought ahead and chilled this so well, it really didn't take that long to stiffen at all. I probably could have just kept filming. But here's our stiff whipped cream. It looks perfect. And you don't sweeten whipping cream. I have before, like for a fruit salad, I'll use like a little bit of powdered sugar. But you don't need to sweeten whipping cream. Plus there's this condensed milk in here, which is pretty sweet. So what you do now is take 2 cups of this and just fold it just until blended into the rest here. Oh my god, this looks so good already. I cannot wait for this lemon cream pie. So then what comes next is that you just refrigerate this. Refrigerate it for like a good 3 hours until it's chilled and set. And that's what I'm gonna do. So this is just folding in here. It's said to fold it just until blended, so not extreme. You don't want to overfold it, it sounds like, probably because it takes out too much of the air, maybe. I don't know. I'm not a classically trained cook, I've never even really trained under anyone at all. I'm pretty much self-taught how to cook. So a lot of the terminology and things I don't know, or why things work the way they do in cooking. So we're just folding this in now, as you can see. One of the challenges in this kitchen is that the light is crazy. The plan is to get an overhead light, but I don't have one yet. So I guess part of this is going to be in my shadow. Hopefully you can see it. I'll try to work with it before uploading to see if I can get good lighting if it's too dark. So now here's that completed. And we're just going to put this now. Oh, this isn't cooled enough yet. But so as you can see here, this is supposed to completely cool. And it's not completely cool. So I'm not going to waste this and ruin it by doing it now. I'm going to let this finish cooling. I'm not going to film it because all it would be is just filming me pouring this into here and then putting it into set. So this is what you're looking for, a golden crust like this. Your whipped up cream and condensed milk and lemon filling. And then filling it up in here and refrigerating it for about 3 hours until it's fully chilled and set. Then what we're going to do is top it with the rest of the whipped cream and some slices of lemon, and I'll try to get like just a little shot of how it looks or how it tastes if I think. I forgot to do that on the first one. We never showed us actually enjoying our goulash. We just showed right as it was going to go on to cook for 3 hours. So see you in a bit. So now we're moving into the second phase of using these lemons, which is going to be to make lemon preserves with salt. Oops, I forgot to get out the salt. Where is my kosher salt? So you need kosher salt for this. You need lemons. Where is my, there it is. And you need the lemon juice. So the first part here is going to involve, I've got my kosher salt. Kosher rock salt, and a pint jar here. So this is what the lemons are going to preserve in. And you need to either sterilize this by boiling it, or you can also just, I have my water heater's on pretty hot, so I just kind of used it like an autoclave almost and soaked this with scalding water. I'm not doing this professionally, or, you know, if I were going to be giving these away as gifts, I would take the extra step of disinfecting these through boiling like you would canning. But because I'm just making this for myself and my own uses, both culinary and magical, I'm not going to worry so much. So I just more use scalding water on this. And now it's ready to go. So the first step with this is going to be that you just want to score these lemons. Just like this. And actually I'm going to cut them a little bit deeper, because what you're going to do then is put salt, about a tablespoonful, inside the lemon here in each one that you've scored. And so getting these ready, I'm thanking these lemons for all they do for us in the world. They heal our sicknesses, they protect our energy from people who want to do us harm. They're so cleansing, they're light-bringing fruits. I just absolutely love them. My bird loves them. He could eat lemons all day. Ah, shit, I think I just cut myself. I did, so I'm gonna have to hold off and cover this before I finish that. Okay, so now that's taken care of. We're just gonna finish up here, getting these lemons into their jar here to ferment and preserve themselves in their salt and in the lemon juice itself. So as you can see, I've got my lemons that I kind of scored, almost like you would score a ham or something. I don't know. Salt go crazy here. So I'm going to take this kosher salt. You want to do about a tablespoon. Oh my God, what a mess. You can tell I don't do this regularly. This is my first time ever doing this. So let's see, how do I want to do this? I'm going to go ahead and do it right over these lemons here that haven't been cut up or anything. So that's got about a tablespoon now of salt inside it, so it's kind of bursting with salt. That's what you want to put into this jar. And so because it's messy like that, this rest of the salt's just going to spill right into this bowl. And I can put it probably right back in here, actually. So this is, I think, such an exciting, this is new for me to make these preserved lemons. This is a very traditional Mediterranean practice. And so, and I love Mediterranean food. And so I'm delighted to try this for the first time and see how it goes, because this is only one process. So now, after I've gotten these salted, like so, like we're doing, now these are salted and in their place. The next step is to make sure that they are covered with their own juice here. So I've got to juice the rest of these lemons now to cover up these lemons. And then they're going to stay like this and ferment in their jar for, it's either weeks or days. I can't remember. I'll have to refer back to the instructions. And then you can add some seasoning herbs if you want, like some rosemary or some thyme. And then you cover the rest with oil. And so everything needs, I think it's oil. It might be more lemon juice. I'll have to reference that again. But in any case, there's going to be an upcoming video following up on this and following up on the limoncello or limoncello. I don't know exactly how you pronounce it, which is the vodka infused lemon, which is an Italian specialty. So this is a great way to use all these lemons. And all of these uses will then have both culinary and magical and medicinal uses. So I hope you're, I guess, starting to catch on to my obsession with lemons, because they're truly amazing and they're so plentiful. And one of the things about Hedge Witchery is, if you start getting into magic and practicing a form of witchcraft, it can feel overwhelming in the beginning because you need tools and stuff, and you need to make an altar, and you need, like, I remember when I was starting out, I was kind of overwhelmed about, like, well, working with the Wheel of the Year, and we just don't live like that where I live anymore. And so it was a big learning curve in the beginning of slowly putting an altar together, gathering my tools, my knife and things like that. And then slowly I started learning that one of the beauties of folk magic and hedge witchery is it's common people's magic. So you don't need to go and have all these mysterious warlock or witching type tools. Folk magic and hedge witchery magic is the magic of common people using things that are all around them, in their yard, in their home. That's why so much of it is so practical, just using nails, using iron, using lemons, right? Like, lemons are plentiful where I live and all over the world really at this point. So they're extremely powerful. They're still pretty affordable, although I got half organic and those were really expensive. The organic lemons were like $1.30 each, post-COVID world. So if you live somewhere where you can grow a lemon tree, I strongly recommend it for protection and for culinary reasons. Our goal ultimately is to have, this is Mike's because I gave it to him as a gift, but he's planning to bonsai this and keep it in the home. And that's what I'm going to plan to do ultimately with these new seedlings that I'm going to sprout. So I'll show this here, covering with juice and covering, and then we'll be done for this portion of the day for the most part, unless I show a final image of the, well, it doesn't matter because this is all going to be spliced together. So thanks.